Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Money Nutritionist Show. I can't wait for you all to hear from our next guest. Her name is Jateria, and she is the founder of Debt Free Travel Journey. She's from Atlanta, Georgia, and is a financial educator and travel strategist, completely focused on getting you out of debt while helping you to have a little bit of fun while traveling the world. So let's give a warm welcome to Jateria. So, hi, Jateria, and welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. This is going to be such an amazing opportunity for people to hear about how they can still travel while they're trying to get out of debt.
And as you know, here on the show, we like to discuss healthy financial habits that people can incorporate into their own lives. And from your aspect, debt reduction is definitely one of those top habits. So I'm excited to hear your own expert insights and strategies. But first off, I do like people to get a little bit of background. So do you mind telling us about the journey that led you towards providing financial education?
Yes, absolutely. I first started traveling about 6 years ago now, and it was such an amazing experience for me. And I began to travel more. I caught the travel bug. And I realized that, okay, if I want to make my lifestyle, travel orientated, that I would need to really pay off my debt. Because it's one thing to be able to have an income and to save for travel, but when you still have debt, that is really gonna, hold you back from making the strides that you want when it comes to travel. So through my travel experience, I would receive a lot of questions about people or from people asking, how are you able to afford this trip? How did you plan this trip? How are you still traveling while you have a job? And what I realized from helping people is that it's not even about the budget that we're creating for you to take the trip, for you to be able to travel, is really about the budget that you're doing when you're at home in your own city on a Saturday night. Because people want to learn so much about like how to travel hack, how to get the best deals, but really they need to be able to budget hack in their own city and enjoy their own city. So my experience of travel really led me to my debt free journey and then inspired me to create Debt Free Travel Journey because it's so much more about travel. It's about our money mindset and building a financial foundation so that we can live the lifestyle that we want.
I love how you lay that out because you are the example of being able to travel and live that extraordinary lifestyle. And people saw that, so they came to you and wanted to get that advice on how they could also travel along with minimizing their debt. So, do you mind telling us a little bit more about what is debt-free travel journey? What does that mean?
So, debt free travel journey. So, it isn't just about let's get you on a debt repayment plan and pay off your debt and let's plan some debt free trips. That's not what we're about. We are about literally three things, three pillars. The first one is financial clarity. So, giving you clarity when it comes to your finances, making sure that you understand financial terms, giving you the knowledge and information that you need so that you can be confident when it comes to your finances. And then number two is a mindset transformation. It really starts, with our mindset. Money is very emotional. So if we can fix how we feel about money, the relationship that we have with money, we'll be, more able to change our situation. And then lastly is intentional and debt-free travel. So traveling with a purpose is so important because people are traveling more. Travel is becoming way more accessible to us, but yet we're still traveling basically off of Instagram. Like I see that people will scroll through Instagram and see a travel influencer, going to this place and be like, oh, these pictures were so nice. I want to get a picture just like that. I'm going to go here. And it's no real motivation or purpose to that trip. And if you're going to spend your hard earned money to travel, then make sure it's a place that you actually want to go to that is aligned with your values and the purpose of the trip. So we really focus on providing financial clarity, a mindset transformation, and then traveling with a purpose and traveling debt free.
Wow, I don't think I've ever heard of intentional, purposeful travel anymore. And you're right. A lot of people say, "Ooh, I'm going to go to the Eiffel Tower because it's the Eiffel Tower," or the Great Wall of China because it's the Great Wall of China, just for that picture. And I've never heard that before. And where did that come from? How did you come up with that idea?
Really, it was the fact that I saw the statistic that in 2018, the Black community spent 63 billion on travel. And I would also see people that were traveling and they would talk about their trips after and how they really didn't enjoy their trip. It was really, travel was really becoming like a rite of passage, especially with social media today. People were just traveling because they saw other people doing it and obviously spending so much money on it, 63 billion in travel. And from my own experience, I have went on trips that I did not enjoy, a group trip or just going like to chase a picture. And that is what people were doing. It was like just persuasion travel. It wasn't anything that really aligned with them. And I wanted to make sure people actually enjoyed their trips because traveling is such a transformational and therapeutic time of your life. So you need to make sure that you are aligning your values and aligning your energy with the places that you're going to, because that is going to give you more bang for your buck, actually going somewhere that you want to be at and you want to experience the culture.
That is a ton of money being spent on travel to not enjoy it. Like, if I'm spending that kind of money, I definitely want to make sure I enjoy the trip I'm going on. And so, what type of clients do you see yourself working with at the moment, trying to make sure they're taking trips that they do enjoy?
Yeah, so currently, right now, I'm working with professional millennials. So working with them is we start off talking about travel, like, oh my gosh, like I want to go to this trip. Can you help me plan this trip? Let's get my budget together. But once I really break everything down to them, we start with their money mindset. Then it goes into, okay, well, let's take a step back and let me make sure I have all my other ducks in a row when it comes to my finances. Then it's like, okay, well, you're right. Let's go ahead and take a look at my credit. So it starts off being about travel, but then we really take steps back to the money mindset, to the budget, the foundation of money, credit, investing, your 401k. So travel really becomes almost the reward by working with millennials, because they think they want travel, but what they really need is financial coaching so that they can have the power to be able to plan intentional and debt-free trips. So working with professional millennials is really my sweet spot, because we are also limited when it comes to our time. We have limited PTO. We have to fit travel around our work schedule. And a lot of millennials now are becoming Henrys, high income earners, not rich yet. They make a lot of money, but they don't know exactly what they should be doing with it, or they still feel broke. So working with those type of people has, really helped them understand their finances better, so they can not only help themselves, but their family and the generations to come. And then travel is really the reward of it after we've learned everything.
I like how you laid that out, and what you're doing to me is much more practical. Like, you're not a travel agent, but you're not just a financial planner. It's almost like you've created this new niche of combining the best of both worlds in saying not only are we going to be practical with laying a plan, but we're going to make sure you get some rewards too. Like, you're not going to get the reward when you're retiring. We're going to try and tie that in now. So I think you're exactly right with our generation in doing that. And now that we're in this new decade, what would you say might be the biggest thing people should be aware of as we move into the future?
Oh my goodness. The biggest thing that we should be aware of is that we are our own biggest asset. Our mind, our intelligence, our education is our biggest asset. It's not going to be a job. It's not going to be a course. It's not going to be your partner. It's you. You need to start investing into yourself and become your biggest asset. That's really like where we are transitioning to. Like, we have to have such a powerful mind that we can create the lifestyle that we want, not just when it comes to finances or travel, but everything. We are our biggest asset. So that is definitely something that people need to be aware of. Like, it is you. You are the plug, like you are the goat, you are the, breadwinner. It's all within you. And we just have to look inside and pull it out of ourselves.
You're right. You're right. It's well said, and it's an asset that you can't value. It's priceless. There's not a value you can put on that, but we can grow ourselves to such extraordinary levels, and I feel like a lot of times we hold ourselves back, and so I'm glad you're able to help push them and guide them down that right path. And so for someone who is trying to travel, they're listening to this right now and saying, I love what she's saying. I want to travel. I want to get my debt lower so I can travel more. Where's a good place for them to get started? How should they go about lowering their debt and focusing on this travel lifestyle of that debt-free travel journey you're talking about?
So yeah, the first thing that I would definitely recommend is to let go of any shame that you have when it comes to your finances. Let go of the mistakes that you have made. Like, just let it go. We have to learn to forgive ourselves for the mistakes that we have made when it comes to our finances. That is number one, because we hold on to that so long that it freezes us from making any decisions when it comes to our money, because it's like, oh, at this point in my life, I was making bad decisions and I feel like I might do that again. So I'm just going to freeze and stay where I am. So that's the first thing I would say, is definitely to let go of the shame and guilt that you have with your money.
Well, where do you think all this shame, this guilt, and our mindset, where do you think all this is coming from? Is it our parents? Is it society? Where would you say it's originating from?
I would definitely say it's a mixture of the two, but really it begins when you're a child, when you're at home. Like, that is where it begins. And I love to use that example because a lot of us have that experience where when we're young and we ask our parents for McDonald's, and the response is always, do you have McDonald's money? And then you think like, oh my gosh, my parents work 2, 3 jobs. I rarely see them, and we don't even have money for McDonald's. So when we have that experience as a child, it puts a scarcity mindset into us. Like, we think that it is not enough money out here. We think that we have to work so hard for money and still struggle. So having a mindset like that built into you as a child, it continues into your adulthood. So I definitely think it's a mixture of how you were raised as a child, as well as society, specifically social media, because we see people out here that are traveling, they have their Louis bags, they look like they're living their best life, but it's not real. So then it makes us feel like, well, what am I doing? Because I don't have this bag. I haven't traveled here. I haven't did this, but it's like false. So with a mixture of the two, it like makes us almost freeze and, be shameful and like feel guilt and just feel like we're not good enough because our money isn't stretching as far as someone on social media is stretching, even though it's not even real. It's fake. It's fake news.
Right. And it's funny because social media goes both ways. It's both good in the fact that, we met each other, but it can be bad because it does warp our minds into thinking that everything we see online is real when obviously, it's just not. And so you've got your hands full when it comes to helping people with travel, with debt, doing some financial planning. And, they say financial planners are also psychologists. So that's the world I also come from as well. So we do have our hands full when it comes to advising people about their finances. And so for you, someone is saying to themselves, I want to get started. And when they would come and get you for your services to go about this debt-free travel journey, when it comes to analyzing their finances, what are you helping them with financially speaking? Is it just their budget? Is it looking at their investment strategy? What would be, say, those first three steps or the things you're going to specifically help them with when it comes to their finances?
So obviously the first thing is their mindset, because we want to figure out where, their behavior is coming from when it comes to their finances. The next thing would definitely be the budget. Like, that is something, it is kind of like your roadmap to your financial freedom, is having this budget in place, and not necessarily just a budget, but a financial system in place that runs your money on autopilot when it comes to your bills, savings, and your investing. We want everything running on autopilot, and a system that is easy for you to use. And then the next thing would be looking at building wealth. That is the main thing that people want to do. They want to build wealth. They don't want to work forever. So we look at strategies on how they can increase their income. We look at strategies on how they can, use side hustles to be able to create some type of passive income for themselves. So we really want to, look at your mindset and the behavior of your money, a budget, financial system, and then ways for you to build wealth in your life.
I love it. That's perfect. And it all starts with the mind. So mind, budget, autopilot, wealth building. Perfect. So if there's one last thing you want to leave with people, what would that be?
Definitely some resources. One is undebtit.com. This is a free debt repayment calculator. It is amazing. You put all of your debt accounts in there and it will, give you a PDF printable plan of how to pay off your debt. So that is definitely a resource that I recommend to people. And then the last thing is that when it comes to travel, just know that travel is an amazing thing and it is transformational. And some people might be thinking about travel hacking. Some people say, oh, I don't need to, put all this money into paying off my debt. I can just travel hack. And that's what I get from a few people. But if you are not paying off those balances every month, the amount of travel rewards that you are receiving will never, outbeat the interest that will be accumulating on those cards. So when it comes to travel hacking, just know that if you don't have a system in place, if you don't have the right money mindset in place, you are still going to be losing. We need to take a look at your finances. We need to take a look at the full picture because travel rewards is not the answer. Don't know how to travel hack, but don't know how to budget hack. Like you need to know how to have a budget before you understand how to travel hack. So that would be my last thing that I would leave with people.
And I like that. For me personally, I think that's what I've gotten out of this discussion is that it's all about having the system, and the debt-free travel journey is that system for people who want to get debt-free and travel. But it's so much more. From everything you've talked about, it's so much more than just that. So I do want to thank you for just sharing your expertise and this opportunity with people. And if they want to contact you and look you up online, where are the places that they can do that?
Yeah, so definitely on Instagram, Pinterest, and Twitter, Debt Free Travel Journey. And then at the website, debtfreetraveljourney.com. And then you can also check out stuff that I'm doing on blackwealthmonth.com, a new social media campaign that I'm pushing out for people to find systems and resources to build their wealth during Black History Month.
Well, thank you, Jateria, for taking the time to share everything with me and with the audience. And I can't wait to do this again. I think I need to talk to you specifically about my own travel plans. So thank you for taking the time today and joining us on the show.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
And thank you, everyone. This has been our show. Thanks for watching. Be sure to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook to stay updated on the latest. But more importantly, to stay updated on YouTube, press the subscribe button below.